Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 69.
69.
69.
Sexy.
I don't know why that's significant. Does that mean something?
Nope.
Okay. Well, last week we had a poll for you guys. We're just going to jump right into it.
Yeah. I don't want to waste any time either.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Hang on. I wasn't ready for you to go so fast.
Oh, I'm sorry. How was your week? Tell me about it.
Great. Okay. So last week we asked, did World of Warcraft Classic end your season? Yes or no? I already know what you're going to say.
Absolutely for me. So, yeah. So this is a Diablo podcast. I'm going to say people voted no.
Okay.
Because I think the majority of people listening
I don't know,
are
man.
Diablo.
I'm going to say people said yes because I feel like a lot of people that play Diablo are like Blizzard fans, not just.
I wish we
Diablo
would have
fans.
put PoE on there too.
Yeah.
Because I think that might have
Sure.
skewed it some. But
then all like the PoE players would have been like, yeah, another chance to shit on Diablo. But yeah, I'm going to say no because that's not what killed it for me, technically. So let's see. Yeah, you're right. No, it's 69%. Wow, 69% of the vote
69 on episode 69.
said no.
Wow.
And 31% said yes.
Interesting.
That's still a pretty big chunk, though. That's like, assuming this was like a
Yeah.
broad spectrum. It's like a third of
broad
players,
sample.
right? That already
Right.
quit after 2 days into the season, basically. So,
Yeah.
that's no small thing.
That's a little more no's than I expected.
Yeah,
honestly.
for sure. But it could be because it's my audience, too.
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying.
But yeah, so for next week's poll, this is something we've been talking about, on previous podcasts, like for weeks, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion. All right, we've asked like all kinds of streamers that have come on, and we've talked about it. But what about the audience? So, is there any chance that Blizzard can talk about Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon and not get booed? The options are yes, with the announcement of Diablo 4. Yes, with the announcement of Diablo 4 plus something else Diablo related. Or finally, no chance. So I'll let you guys vote on that. Didn't have chat open. Oops. No.
I think I know how this poll's going to go. Oh.
Awkward. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I know how that poll's going.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, I
There's
hope
three
surprise
options.
me.
There's three options.
Surprise me, viewers. Surprise me.
Don't delegitimize the poll. How dare you?
You think that's delegitimizing?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
And then in other news, they kicked this episode 69 just off right. Officially, if you guys don't follow us on Twitter, like, why aren't you? Like, seriously, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, we did this at the end of last episode, but I'm going to do it at the start. You get 3,000 views a week plus.
Yeah.
And I got like 600 Twitter followers.
Sure.
You got like, what, 1,700, something like that?
Sure.
Why don't we not both have 3,000 right now? Do it. Go follow us, right?
Do it. We had a couple comments this week that were like, I don't have Twitter. I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't like it, but I don't know anything about it. I was like, what? Just go try it. Anyways.
It's 2019.
So, yeah. Officially, I think, you didn't make a post, but like this is a great opportunity, right? So, we're both going to be at BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2019, this coming November. Blizzard finally, bit the bullet and, got me that first class ticket and hooked me up, limousine, red carpet. That's a lie. So they didn't do anything. So, but we'll be there,
So you officially bought a ticket?
Yes, 100%. Blizzard did not extend a helping hand or anything. So,
yeah.
But we'll be there.
We'll be there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an opportunity for us to be in person. We specifically made some arrangements to potentially do some cool stuff there. So I'll just leave it at that. But
Yeah.
there could be some cool things going down at BlizzCon that you guys could partake in, maybe.
Hell yeah. And so if you guys are going to go, you can tweet at us.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
Yeah, it'd be cool to meet some of you guys,
Hell yeah, brothers.
Be like, what's up? Get some photo ops.
Except for you toxic guys that are like, don't talk about anything that's not Diablo. You just stay at home, all right?
Damn it, ThaPChild, stop playing WoW.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's exciting. I'm ready. It's gonna be so weird because like this year in particular for me, like I'm going to BlizzCon, and then 2 weeks later, I'm going to ExileCon, which is just so weird to think about.
It'll be a cool comparison.
Yeah,
if it would just.
Yeah, I wonder how many like content creators are really gonna get. I know that Riker is gonna go
to ExileCon.
Both, yeah. He's had his way kind of like I think paid for, but
okay,
he's gonna go, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
to see the conflicting opinions, but I don't know a lot of content creators other than like us two. When I'm paying completely out of pocket for both, but I don't know. Quinn's decided on BlizzCon yet, but I know he'll definitely be at ExileCon, so we'll see. I'm excited.
It'll do them both. Yeah, it'll be. I think GGG's gonna drop some bombs.
Yeah,
at ExileCon,
no doubt.
And I think that's why like you said, that they're hooking Riker up and bringing him. He's got probably the biggest Diablo audience reach on of YouTube, anybody on the planet. Yeah. Right. So, if they're gonna drop some stuff, man, who better to have there than the biggest competition? You know what I mean?
Gotta get that folks demographic.
Yeah, get them there. So that kind of makes me excited. If they're willing to reach out like that, then I personally think they're gonna be like, I got this. Yeah, here we go. So it could be awesome. Now, it could be super awesome.
People keep asking me like, what am I looking forward to more? And like, I want to caveat this. So say for you, I'll ask you first, right? So say poof, they're both in St. Louis, like this weekend, and you got to go to BlizzCon or ExileCon. Which one are you more excited for?
BlizzCon for me because I play all their. I mean, I play a lot of their games. I'm a huge WoW fan. I'm a huge Diablo fan. Yeah. And I like Overwatch a lot too. Honestly, so it's not close. But as somebody that you genuinely, I think, enjoy PoE quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So, I don't see how you couldn't be more excited for BlizzCon with the potential Diablo 4 announcement. I mean, there's not a bigger game release for me out there. Like there's if somebody was like, "What title do you want?" It's like
Diablo 4, 100%.
Diablo 4. It's not. It's
So yeah, I want a quick caveat before like I say what I'm going to say, but like I'm actually personally looking more forward to ExileCon, but. Huge caveat.
Because you're gonna get to go try to help Quinn.
It's well, sure, that of course, but it's if it was DiabloCon versus ExileCon, 1000% DiabloCon, but it's BlizzCon, and I mean I really don't care about all the other Blizzard games, so it's like you get this much Diablo at BlizzCon, and like a ton of other stuff that I didn't really pay to go to see. So, and ExileCon's just Exile, Path of Exile. So it's just all that all weekend. So yeah,
I get you. That makes sense, man. Yeah, and if and for people like you in that scenario where you're spending an obscene amount of money, for really what is like a fifth or sixth of the entire exhibit,
right?
It's crazy. Like if it were it, they're featuring a bunch of other games there. So, I get that. I hear you. So
I hope we have demos, also, man. Like whatever happens in the Diablo universe, like I hope we have like more. Like so last year, I was always stopping by that Diablo Immortal thing, but like that was barely enough to play for like more than a couple hours, and I was there time and time again because I was just like bored.
I mean, we played it like 8, 9, 10 times.
Yeah, I was.
The cool part, I guess it was the cool part. The cool part is by the second day there was no line to play Immortal. Like absolutely none. You could just go play as long as you wanted, and they wouldn't even kick you out. Right. They were just like,
no one tapped on your shoulder, right?
Yeah. So, but the demos at BlizzCon were, man, not worth the wait, I guess. to me, like the Overwatch line was cool to play with the new character. Yeah. That's when
that was probably the most fun I had at a demo. Was like when we got to sit down and we like wrecked on some kids.
Yeah, the three of us, we legitimately wrecked on kids. There were like a group of kids in front of us. I didn't feel bad at all. They were probably like, I don't know, man, 12, 13, 14. Right. And we slayed them. Yeah, we did wreck them. It was fun. I'm not going to lie. It was a good time. It probably wasn't for them, though. We probably ruined their demo. Mm-hmm. But the classic demo was like, goddamn, it was awful.
Yeah. It was awful. I'm surprised you say that, like, because you like the thing.
It's just one of those things. It's like not fun if it's not your character and it's not. Like, I even played the beta when I came home, and I was like, this sucks. This isn't fun, you know? So it's just something different about when it's your character and you really get to keep your progress and things like that.
I guess. Shit.
It'll be cool, man. I'm excited for BlizzCon. I'm excited to see all the faces. And you know,
that was the best part, right? Like of last year was just like hanging out with other creators, fans, just chilling, talking about Diablo until like 4 a.m. Right? Like, looking down your watch, like, oh shit, you know, our flight leaves at like. We gotta be at
you're
that.
worse than me. I'm like, dude, I gotta get some sleep.
Oh yeah, man. You did bail before me.
I bailed a couple hours before you. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. You know, this guy runs on no sleep.
Hell yeah, I do. Yep. But it's juicy, man. It's a good time.
It's cool. I can't wait for it. So we will be there. Hit us up. Let us know if you're going. Well, you know, you can tweet at us during the thing. Like, we'll have our phones on us, and you know, tell us where you're at, and we can.
Are you
maybe
already
meet some of you cool guys?
Phone memes? Jesus.
Phone memes? Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, episode 69, want to return to some of the roots of Diablo, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this post. I don't know if some of you guys have seen this. I'm sure some of you guys might remember this. Like, I remember looking at this once upon a time and being like, this is amazing. And this is really fucking cool. Like, probably one of the coolest things Blizzard has ever done. Like, but at the same time, it's like the numbers are insane. So, of course, they're going to like advertise it kind of thing, right?
Yeah. They're like fluffing their. There you go here.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean fluff? Oh. So, they back in like what, April 17th of 2013, Diablo 3 came out with this crazy chart, man. And this thing is just dope. So, first and foremost, the first stat that they hit on you is highest number of daily players since launch. Daily players. And this is just mind-boggling to think about in the current year with Diablo. 5.8 million.
At the same time. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably almost simultaneous. You know what I mean? Like, there's 5.8 million people in a 24-hour period is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I don't even were there queues? Like, I don't even remember, man.
In April of 13, I mean, there definitely were queues back in when it launched on launch day. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, but also what this graph represents, each one of these little players, like, you know, you can see like all these little symbols. Each one of these represents 50,000 people.
Unique
50,000
accounts. Basically.
Yeah, unique players.
Right.
50,000 per person. I mean, that's a whole screen full of people. You know, 14.5 million people.
14.5 million people have played Diablo 3 at this point in time. I wonder what that number looks like now.
Yeah, were consoles even out then? I don't even know if console has launched back then. And then Switch, we also got Switch launches. It's probably got to be close to 20, I would think, by now. But
I gotta wonder, like, what this would have looked like on Twitch. Like, had the Twitch been as big as it is now when Diablo 3 had come out, like, what that would even
I think it would have been in the top 2 or 3 games for a long time.
You think?
A long time, yeah.
But wonder what that number would have even looked like. I guess it depends on the streamer.
WoW smashed it, man. They hit 1.3, 1.1, 1.3 million, and that's like the highest that a directory's ever had.
But they also had, like, you know, people like Shroud who would usually never be in a directory like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Asmon averaged over 100,000 for the entire day. Insane. You know,
you're right.
So I mean, those are like, you know, ninja peak numbers.
Sure.
So, yeah, you know, I don't know. I bet it would look pretty crazy.
But then you look at the next stat, right? Average number of daily players since launch, 2.1 million. Every day.
Every day.
Average. That's just whack. It's so hard to think of. Because, we're so used to Diablo 3 in its current state where it's just like, I don't want to say a dead game, but like obviously all of us are like super passionate about it still and like continue to play and we love it. But
do you think it's even like 500K now a day?
No way. Not even close. A day?
500. No, let's say 100K a day.
Yeah. I could go with like maybe. I don't know. Between all the platforms, either. I guess. Sure. I'd say if it's like PC, maybe like 30 to 50K. Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. I know, I can go based off my friends. So my battle.net friends list is full. It's always maxed out.
Sure.
It's 150 people or what you can have on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm constantly like trying to bring new people on that are friend requested and remove people that haven't logged in months.
Sure.
And so that's kind of like my judge of game, like, because you can kind of see like how many friends are online based on the title. And so frequently, like maybe once or twice a day, I'll click on all the games just to see, I got 20 people in Diablo, 20 in WoW, like 1 on StarCraft, whatever, go through. And this season's been the lowest for Diablo I've ever seen. It's
this season, really?
Yeah. So, and it could just be that my friends.
It was a pretty big dip. Like, wow. Before they made the BlizzCon announcement, I feel like that Diablo was like going to be at BlizzCon. I feel like that was a really dead time, and that was probably like the lowest. I think
last year. Yeah.
Like I was getting like 70 viewers, and like no one was hanging out, and
right.
It seemed pretty dead.
Diablo has 8 people on my friends list right now compared to WoW. WoW has 35. So I mean and it's never been that way. It's always been the reverse. It's always been Diablo's because that's where my friends list comes from. So it's just that's like my very small sample size.
I mean, it's not a bad sample size. You know what I mean? Like it's still an indication.
Yep.
Whew. But that's crazy. Hours played 2.8 billion. Which it's a number you can't even wrap your head around, really.
When I think about this, I think like, man, if I were some of the people that made this, how proud of that number would you be?
Oh my God! Like, how proud of all of this would you be? Right? That's why you made it.
You used up 2.8 billion human hours with your creation.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, you kind of be like, damn, dude, I just wasted 2.8 billion human hours in a video game. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's a lot of productivity that, humans could have done something better.
I would love to see what that number is now. Because, I'm like 1/4 of that.
5,000 of it's mine.
Yeah.
Give me my 5K back.
Like, goddamn. That'd be a crazy number to see now. I would love to see that. Because that's not like really going to be an indication of like how many people are playing or information they might not want to release. Like, just tell us how many hours are played right now.
Total
That'd
hours.
be like sick. Like, just like remake some of this stuff, man. Just re-come out with this chart.
Because this even if these numbers haven't changed a lot,
sure,
this is still staggering. Even if it were dropped today,
right?
If they released these stats today, you'd be like, holy shit! And they had to have gone up since then.
Plus ROS reinvigorated. There's no way this isn't like crazy numbers again. It's just maybe I don't know, not as much as they would like to advertise or something.
8.2 million hours a day,
averaged a day.
That's like you can't wrap your head around millions.
You just can't.
It's like the damage numbers in Diablo. Like you just like I'm hitting for a quintillion. Like you what is that? Like you don't you can't. 930. So that statistic underneath this.
But
the total number of.
You look at these two, right? So average players daily since launch 2.1, right? And then average hours. So it's like every player is at least playing 4 hours a day.
Well, maybe it's counting some of those bad hours,
Already?
I'm not gonna go there. I'm sorry. So
I wonder how fast it was after launch that like the bots kicked in.
Oh my god!
I really don't know.
Like instantly, the fucking Real Money Auction House, dude. When did the Real Money Auction House was there? Like almost instantly, right?
Yeah, I think I think there was a small stagger like a week or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I would think probably, and by the time the real auction was live, I would say within a week or less. Yeah, Brother Chris was already going strong.
What does that mean? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's super nuts.
But yeah, you were saying.
Oh, yeah, the total number of hours spent defending Sanctuary each day is 930 years. Okay, so they have, of all these hours they put in, 930 years. That's 13 generations.
13 lifetimes.
13 generations of people. Like, if you think back 13 generations, it's insane, man. You're back to like the 1000s.
It's like in the area we can't really trace that well. like
we didn't even have ships. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
shit, man.
Living in
caves.
Fucking caves,
I don't think that's accurate at all. But
that's totally accurate, dude.
Yep.
Living in
this was crazy. Characters created worldwide 67.1 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it breaks it down too. So we can see clearly Witch Doctor has always been the worst.
It's represented in the numbers. I mean, what are you supposed to say?
Yeah.
It's a fact. It's like this proves it. This isn't opinion anymore.
Right.
It's definitely
and of those 10 million, I think only 0.1 probably continued playing, past like level 10.
So I just real quick looked up the population of the United States.
Okay.
The highest population is California.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that 67.1 million characters is more or less than the population of California?
More?
Correct. Cali, as of 2019, has 39 million people living there.
Damn.
This is like every single person in California making a character, and then some.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts, dude.
That's great.
That's actually California and Texas. Those are the two biggest states, and still then some.
So, like, what state are we getting into for like 13.5 million? Like, what's that state?
Illinois and Pennsylvania are both 13ish.
So like Illinois is all the demon hunters and.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, so 12.8 million barbs, 13.5 million demon hunters, which I found that to be a little surprising that demon hunters was the most popular class at launch.
Yeah, I would have thought barb. If I would have guessed, I would have said barb or whiz, honestly.
Yeah. But 12.2 million monks, 10.1 million filthy casual witch doctors, and 13 million wizards.
Look at the witch doctor hardcore number, though. That's what's
0.9 million.
I think they're a little squishy.
I don't remember.
I don't know what was going down in April of 2013, but I would say they're probably a little squishy.
Yeah, probably.
0.9 million, if you guys are listening to audio and you can't read the graphic. Where most of the other hardcore classes range from 1.2 to 1.6 mil. So.
Mm-hmm. But that's also like a fraction of, the normal. So
yeah, I thought the 91 to 9% really says a lot too.
Yeah, so that's 91% of that 67.1 million plays softcore, and 9% plays hardcore.
Yep, 91% are normal softcore players, and if you go based on, I guess Twitch or like squeakiest wheel, like people are always like, oh, I only play hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, I only play hardcore.
Yeah.
Softcore is for casuals. It's like
9% is the loudest part of the
9% is definitely the loudest percent for sure.
Oh, you're not playing hardcore?
You're not playing hardcore.
That goes to show you, like, and it's always like I've always like been like softcore is infinitely more popular. Like I've always known that. We've always known that, but it's like it's right there. I'm curious what the stats are now, right?
Yeah. I would imagine it's still probably close to that, for sure.
Yeah. Crazy hardcore kooks.
It'd be cool if they would have had a stat for average hardcore deaths per day.
or average life expectancy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if like the hardcore deaths outweighed like the census, like real stat deaths.
Yeah. Average number of characters per player 4.63. So basically, everyone made one of every class besides Witch Doctor. Is what that says.
Well, it didn't exist back. Yeah, pretty much, right? Only a small percent were like, I'll go ahead and make that. That's
everyone stopped at 4 and they're like, ugh. Average number of characters created per day 183,962, which is just still mind blowing to think about. To think about a time in Diablo where, like, we would have just dominated like the Twitch platform. And B, just had like so many people in like community. Like imagine communities weren't a thing yet. It's like imagine you log in, you see like the Rat Run community, and it's just like banging. Like there's got to be like multiple because there's like probably like caps on how many people could be in it. And
yeah, I don't know what the caps are for communities. I know that they separate the communities into 100 segments though. Mm-hmm. Like it throws 100 people in a lobby, and then there's a new lobby. Statistically, there's 15,000 births each hour. In 2011, that's the closest statistic I could find to 2013. So there was almost a character created for every second time we had a child in real life. It's just funny to see like, these game worlds. It's like almost
virtual versus physical.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Average number of characters created per hour, 7,665, which is still insane. Which you boil it down even further, that's 127 characters per minute.
Think about the servers have to process all that though.
Yeah,
in the background. I mean, these are crazy stats, but
and that's why we still lag to this day.
Yeah, they're still trying to catch up from all those player creations.
They have to access this huge database of characters.
Well, these guys are never. I wonder how they handle that.
Yeah.
Man. I wonder if there's a way that they can say, like, after so many days of not logging in, you get dumped.
Right.
Yeah, to like some archive server. And then when you try to log in the first time, it's like, oh, shit.
It's like, oh, you're coming back? Fuck.
Go find John's warrior or witch doctor.
Yeah. Dust off the old iMac.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Characters created by BattleNet region. So this kind of breaks it down by Asia, Europe, Americas. This was kind of shocking to me too.
Yeah, this is super balanced, man.
Yeah, it's super balanced, right? What you said. So America's 33%, Europe 33%, Asia 34%. And I mean, that kind of blew my mind. Like that.
Yeah.
Anyone was ahead of NA, and Europe was that close. And on top of that, we both got beat out by Asia. Like that I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was the case because I know statistically, I think WoW's the same. Like Asia has a bigger WoW audience, so that's not super surprising to me.
Well, like if this were to come out now, this would not be surprising. I guess I'm a little surprised, but back in 2013, that was still bigger.
Yeah,
I just found that to be surprising.
It's a lot of peeps. Man.
It is a lot of peeps. Difficulty progression per character. This says a lot too, really. So 22.5 million, which is 33% of all characters cleared normal difficulty. That's not a lot. That's normal difficulty. And this was just campaign back in the day. Like there's no rifts or anything.
So if they cleared Nightmare, are they excluding them from the normal difficulty pool?
No. That's inclusive.
You don't think?
Yeah, that's usually how those things work.
If you add all these pools up, you're totaling 80%, which would mean 20% of the player base didn't clear anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Or are you saying that?
No, you're not excluding. You never exclude in something like this.
So you're saying that 23% cleared Nightmare, and that 23 that cleared Nightmare also is included in the 33 that cleared normal, because then that's saying 70 whatever the percent or 66% didn't beat normal ever.
Yes. You look, it's the same thing for like PoE. Like it's mind blowing. So PoE, it's like no one's ever even like 90% of the player base hasn't even beat like Act 1. So it's like this is totally believable to me.
Yeah, but that's free. Like if you paid money, like people forked out $60 for this, or 50 or 40, whatever it cost back in 2013.
Yeah, but like you gotta like
66% didn't finish, man. Like,
based on my YouTube comments and like like some of the content that gets pushed out there and that people really like latch onto, this doesn't blow my mind at all. Because like the majority of the gamer population, especially in Diablo, I feel like it's very, very, very casual audience.
Because if you, like I said, if you add them all up, you got 80%. That means 20% didn't finish. I'm like, okay, I can see that. 66% that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. So, but yeah, I mean,
like if you think about the game when it first came out, like those players hit like Act 2 and they encounter wasps, for the first time, which even on normal, which were pretty tough. It sucked, right?
It sucked ass, man. And it was tuned different. Like normal difficulty at launch was harder than normal now. I feel like for sure. And but like Belial on normal, like I said, I've said a million times.
Yeah.
Just
the game was designed around like you only ever like wearing like rares and blues. Like that's what the whole game was. Like legendaries were just not around.
Man. They wanted you to go spend that cash to get that loot. And
ROS shifted towards like legendary every slot, but. Yeah, like it was way harder back then. I remember having a really tough time. Like when I hit hell, I was like, oh shit. Like, especially as a wasps, as a barb. Like I was just getting wrecked. But yeah. And then 23% cleared Nightmare. Take it down even further. 18% cleared Hell, and only 6% cleared Inferno. Which, Inferno was really fucking hard.
Inferno was crazy hard. Crazy hard.
I wonder like what percentage of the people that are still around, the people that still come hang out with the podcast and like all that is part of that 6%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just stuck around. We're still here wanting more.
It's, yeah. When they restructured everything, I remember feeling like that 6% that was Inferno ready kind of got delegitimized, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. It was different. I remember.
Yeah, I remember there being
like
100%.
Like I'm in Inferno, man. I just feel like I got
Yeah, now like a lot more people can do Inferno, and then they had like Monster Power, and then that kind of slowly got dwindled down as well, and total number of level 60 characters, 12.7 million. So that's
not bad out of the 14. What was it? 14.5.
67.1 million.
It's not bad.
Only 12.7 reached level 60. If all the this is fascinating. If all the heroes of Sanctuary were to form a nation, it would be the 20th largest country in the world, with a population just above Thailand. Let's do it, boys.
Of all superhero Nephilims, right? It'd be like Sparta on steroids,
Before Necros, too. Oof.
And then this staggering amount of gold.
Yeah. Gold. That, like, what? So it's...
I found trillion? That much last season. I found that last season.
True. 600...
This number today would be... Oh, my God.
It would be insane.
It would have, like, 15 more zeros tacked on.
Too many commas.
Yeah.
So 648 trillion, 510 billion, 803 million, 462,686 amount of gold found in Sanctuary at the time of this, which again, now would be just stupid because like we at least are in the high billions probably as players. Like to play a lot every season. So that would be just so staggering. But they kind of break it down even further. So gold received from vendoring items. I don't even remember doing that because you couldn't break it down, right? You just sell it for gold. I think because then you'd use the gold for the auction house. That was the currency. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's so hard to remember, isn't it?
I remember being so broke that I was scared to keep trying to push whatever difficulty I was pushing, that if I kept dying, I wouldn't be able to afford to repair or some shit. Like I was so broke. And so I remember dropping the difficulty down to farm to get more gold to be able to do it.
You were such a casual.
Yeah. I don't remember if that was like super early on. I specifically remember being in Act 4 going, shit, man, if I keep dying, I don't know if I can afford to repair, because it was expensive to repair and gold wasn't, you just didn't find much, you know?
It's so wild to think about the landscape of ARPGs back then and like how we were content with basically rerunning the campaign. Like, it's just so crazy to think about.
I don't know if we were content with it. Like, we did it. We were. Yeah. But I don't think it would have had the lasting appeal that it had without Greater Rifts.
Well, yeah, but then like, how many people played all the way from vanilla to ROS, right? Like, we got Monster Power, and then
I definitely quit a lot of times between ROS. Like, it wasn't the same for me. Like, I'd play, and I got my barbs super juiced up, and then I'm like, I made a whiz. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. Sure. I'm gonna go play some WoW, and ROS I think was definitely the staple for me. That was like, I can play the shit out of this.
Yeah, for sure, for me too. But I never, like, I played pretty hard, and then like, I got so tired of the auction house that I quit. And then they, like, a week after I quit, they're like, we're getting rid of the auction house. I was like, okay, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember reading that and being like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And then the Loop 2.0 hit, and then
do
you remember when they was it season 3? What season was it when they doubled the drop rate? Like, they put a buff on, and then they were like, the buff was so good, we're just gonna keep it.
I don't remember at all.
It was like season 3. I want to say it was season 3, but I remember that specifically too, because I don't know. It's just blended in. But I remember at one point they had a weekend buff or some kind of theme, and they doubled the drop rate, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And we smashed it so hard that weekend to get all this loot. And then they're like, maybe it was a holiday buff or
man, we should do that sometime. Like, we should go back, like, look at the season 1 like patch notes and be like, oh yeah, like, I remember this shit.
Yeah,
that was crazy, man.
It was something. It was some kind of buff, and then they're like, we're gonna go ahead and keep that. And I was like, dude, I just ground so hard because I thought it was going away. Like, you fucks, I could have slept last weekend. Sure. So.
The total number of gold pieces generated in Diablo 3, if they were grains of rice, the community would be able to feed the entire population of the earth for 4 days. So that's how much rice. How many grains of rice?
I mean, how many pieces of rice do you get to live on? That's the question. How many pieces of rice does it take to feed a person?
I have no idea.
For a day, for 4 days.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Assuming 648 trillion gold coins looted in Diablo 3 are the same size as a modern U.S. quarter, this would be enough to fill Scrooge McDuck's money bin 679 times. Oh, like, what size is Scrooge?
How do you know how big Scrooge McDuck? Yeah, what size is Scrooge McDuck's money bin? Hold on, I'm gonna Google that. Is that a thing?
That's got to be a thing if they can quantify it.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, right, sure. And then average amount of gold per character was 9.7 million. That seems high. I don't remember that.
The wiki doesn't instantly have something.
What kind of inside information do they have about Scrooge McDucks?
Yeah, what are you guys doing? Who do you know?
Yeah, who's it based on? What the fuck?
I don't know. That's interesting, though.
Mm-hmm. For every elite monster slain, approximately 18.4 normal monsters bit the proverbial dust. That's interesting. So 1 to 18. That seems like, I don't remember there being that many elites in vanilla.
Yeah, I think. You think it's still that way? I think it seems low to me. I would think you're killing way more trash per elite pack.
Now,
than 18 per elite.
I don't know.
And I feel like there's more now than there was then.
Probably.
I don't know.
That's like the great thing about some of this information, because you like, when it's presented in front of you, you're like, really? Like, I wonder what that looks like now, if it's the same.
What if they just pay to enter and you're like, hey, Johnny.
Here we go, the intern.
Go make up.
Johnny's got such a big job based on this podcast alone.
I'm telling you, Johnny has made so much money for them. But like, Johnny, we need go make us a really cool graphic about some stats, and just ballpark shit. It's okay. Like, just make some stuff up.
I have no idea. So average number of monsters killed per character created is about 50K. It's 49,595, which is a lot. It seems like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Until you see monsters killed worldwide, 3.3 trillion. Which is like, that's a lot. That's a lot of like computing power.
Yeah. It's the population several times over.
And the characters that have killed a Diablo, 22.5 million, which has to go back to... Yeah, there it is. See?
Yep.
There it is. That proves that's,
Consistent stats. Yep.
22.5 million players, which is only, again, 33% of the population killed Diablo.
That's crazy. I mean, but, the game was harder back then, I guess.
Sure.
I wonder how long it took me to kill Diablo the very first time. Like, was it...
Yeah. For me, I think it was the first night.
A couple weeks, you think?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I kicked my ass for a couple hours.
On normal?
For sure. Yeah, like I was playing a barb. I couldn't. He was wrecking me, man. I had to get some gold and buy a life on hit weapon, and then it was easy.
They had life steal back then, man. That was dope.
Yeah, it was life per hit or life something. I don't remember.
You could infinitely scale your damage and never die. It's estimated over 170 billion people have lived on the planet Earth. Over 3.3 trillion monsters have been slain since Diablo 3 launched. Interesting. That's approximately 31 dead monsters to every human being who ever lived. Yeah, it's too bad we don't have monsters, This one's fascinating because, we're all getting jacked. We all knew we were getting jacked playing Diablo. But each mouse click burns 0.00142 calories. So if one monster death equals one mouse click, that means Diablo 3 players have burned approximately 4.7 billion calories in the last year.
There you go. Diablo 3
We're ripped.
Is good for your health.
Yeah.
Fitness.
You heard it here.
Yeah. 4.7 billion calories burned.
That's enough to work off 24,888,386 Krispy Kreme donuts. Or
sponsored, by the way.
Yeah. 8.5 million McDonald's Big Macs, or 1.8 million pounds of...
Pounds of what?
I didn't see this
pounds
before.
Of what? Say it.
Pounds of sausage?
Pounds of what?
Bacon. Why the fuck would they say bacon? All right.
Even
idiots.
Diablo is team bacon.
I knew Blizzard. I knew they were kind of low IQ, but this really just puts the nail on the head, Oh my god. But yeah, now assuming the wingspan of a single monster was 7 feet, if all monsters killed to date stood arm to arm, they could circle the Earth 100,707,000 times. Wow.
That's a lot of circles.
That's a lot of circles.
It's a lot of bodies. What are we going to do with all those corpses, man? 3.3 trillion corpses?
Is 1.8 pounds of bacon enough to circle the Earth?
A million? 1.8 million pounds?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
I would think so. Like, how long is your average bacon strip?
No idea.
Yeah.
Quick calculation.
There you go. There's some math. Some of our math nerd readers out there, viewers. There we go.
But yeah. Numbers represent all Diablo 3 players, including active game licenses, Starter Edition licenses, and IGR licenses. And this was from, again, April 17th, 2013. It's pretty fascinating.
That's like 2 years of data. There's still 6 more to tack onto that.
I know, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I would love to see Diablo do something like this again.
Yep. 100%. I'm always into the numbers, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge... transparency.
It's just fun. That's just fun. To be like, oh, we burned the calories. It's so ridiculous, but it's kind of hilarious and interesting at the same time. I remember so I came out that Vietnam video, right? For the travel documentary video. And every other person said I love the statistics in the trailer. It's just of all the things to hang on to. So it's obviously there's value.
I don't care how you got out of there.
Yeah.
Tell me the stats.
It's wow, that's how many people die every day. What's
really you never did finish that. It's been 4 years, dude. What the hell?
I don't want to talk about
it.
Man. But yeah. Moving on. Okay. So, this is no surprise, but I actually didn't know some of the details here. So, again, this kind of rears its ugly head, right? Top 100 players for each class on Switch. For each class are using hacked items. Now, this is possible, and I didn't know this because no other console's like this. It's possible because seasonal characters can be offline on the Switch because they want you to be able to play offline. Yeah. But why? Like, why would they allow players to play seasonal offline? What's the point?
I would say I wonder if it's a requirement that Switch imposes, but they have Fortnite, and Fortnite has no offline mode. You know?
Yeah. And you look at console for Xbox, PlayStation, they don't do that.
Why well, I mean, Switch's thing is like it's a portable system.
Totally,
so let's make
for sure.
It like, no. Like, I don't know. No, I personally think that seasonal should be online only.
For sure.
Like, especially if you're excluded from leaderboards.
Yeah, 100%. You sign something, it's like, hey, if you want to go offline, like when you click offline, it's like, hey, you can do this and continue playing seasonal and having a good time, but you can't compete on leaderboards.
And I mean, but see, then you're opening the can of like people that group with you, you know?
Sure. But that's.
And then if you group with.
Less. That's definitely less.
Well, I mean, you could get 3 guys to do the offline hacking, whatever. They got 3 legendary gems with like 1 billion damage carrying 1 legit player.
Right. But then that's like the equivalent.
50 billion.
Right. But that's the equivalent of like, botting on.
Yeah.
PC.
I get it.
It's the less of evils, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
that
it's
sucks,
definitely
man.
something.
It's so, to me,
every single one, when you pulled this up, every single one was cheating.
Top 100 of every character class is using modded items. And to me, that's fucking crazy because it's like, it's not even like Diablo on PC where it's like, oh, did they bot? Like, oh, we don't really know. Like, we know. You can just look at their character. I mean, we know they're cheating in PC because hours are insane. But like on console, you just see that they're like wearing like an item with like 17 socks. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously they're fucking cheating.
Yep. So, I don't understand why they're not banned. I just don't.
Just doesn't make sense.
If you start revoking licenses for that kind of shit, people will stop doing it. You know?
I don't know.
It's that easy.
Going on?
So, I visit Diablo Reddit once, twice a week now. It used to be like daily, but it's just the same stuff all the time.
Sure.
Oh, but one of the threads I saw today was like, is it safe to bot?
What?
Yeah.
They straight up asked?
Straight up. Like, is it safe to bot Diablo 3
in its current
state? And it's like, and then people are like, the responses, like, I clicked the thread not because I was like, well, this guy's an idiot, but I wanted to see what people said. Sure. I wanted to see, and a lot of people were like, yeah, they haven't banned for bots forever. Like, you're pretty safe. And that was the majority of the comments. But there were other people that were like, why are you even playing? If you feel the need to bot, why are you wasting your time with the game? Because clearly it's not fun for you anymore. Move on to something else, So
there's so many mobile games that you can offline play and like auto play. Like, what the fuck, man? Get out of our game, please.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yep. So in that I ran across the article the other day that talked again about the King of the North expansion.
I'm always fascinated kind of by this because like we just didn't get that much juice,
And so like my thing with it was I kind of wanted to see just if they had any new info. And I read through the article. It wasn't a very long article.
Sure.
But it was kind of rehashing stuff. I didn't even see a lot credited, but it seemed like it was pretty much the same leaks that we got before, where they talked about, it was supposed to be announced at BlizzCon 2015.
Right. Quick catch up for you guys don't know. Like, King of the North was supposed to be the second expansion for Diablo that got canceled.
After Reaper of Souls.
Right.
Yep. And so they were supposed to announce it at BlizzCon 2015, and the reasons it got canceled was lack of revenue generated from D3 compared to their other properties. Like, there was no real monetization happening because of the lack of the auction house was removed.
Sure.
King Kanai's throne room is like one of the assets that was supposed to be part of that expansion, and we got that in the game. In the Kanai's cube, that's that area. That's one of the bosses, I guess. Maybe
that was for the
end boss.
He's for the Easter egg thing that happens once a year. That's when you get to see that.
Yeah. So that's one of the assets from that they had made. And they reused other things too, for Necro, and the Necro was supposed to be one of the main features of the expansion, and they pulled that out and made the class expansion
Oh my God.
instead.
Seeing this screenshot of the Real Money Auction House, it actually triggers me. It actually fucking triggers me. I'm not even kidding. I just saw this and like my blood pressure just went up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was so frustrating. Oh my God. I just remember like I'd always be. It's like when I played Trade League, honestly, PoE last season. It was like, you're sitting there and you're looking through stuff. You're like, oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, that would be a nice item to have. Oh, okay. And then you're like sitting in for 20 minutes and then you're like, I just want to fucking play the game. Like you just get so frustrated that you're sitting there doing this thing when you could just be playing the game.
Some people love that thing, though. They love that mini game, man. And it's the same. I think any game that has, like WoW has the auction house in it, and you can sit there and waste so much time, trying to play auction house. And I got some newer players that are playing, and they're like, should I go sell these things on the auction house? I'm like, absolutely not. Just vendor them, play the game. Like you'll get the economy later. Just go enjoy the game, man. Like that's not part of the fun yet, So anyway, that's it. Like, so if you guys wanted to see the article, there's you can just Google the King of the North Diablo expansion and you'll find a bunch of stuff. But it's a little tidbit out there in case you guys
makes you sad.
Somehow hadn't heard of it.
A little bit.
Yeah. It does, man. It would have been really cool to get that. And there's also rumors that the Druid was going to be in that expansion as well. That's the other character class that maybe they could rip for us and throw in. I assume that Necro was just further along, and that's why we got that one.
Yeah. But, probably right. And there's all those, like, Leviathan had all the videos. Like, there's Easter eggs that, like, very clearly indicate, that it was kind of...
The Druid was...
Yeah. And they just obviously backed away from it, so... Sad face.
It sucks.
And then other things, I saw this on the Twitter, and it's not necessarily... I think this is just from, like, the Book of Adria. But the reason I highlighted this is like this one person, Ultimate Light, right? And we've talked about this once or twice. So they've got this really cool art for Diablo. And Diablo's always like the coolest character. Like he's just fucking badass. And like he's this like big evil force to be reckoned with. But, you never fight him. Yep. Like you never fight him. Or, in every Diablo game, like he's the vanilla boss. And then people come out that are more powerful than he is, or like just you kill him and he can't be the boss again or whatever. So I really hope
even the hardest boss in vanilla. I don't think.
No, Belial
was by far the hardest.
So I really hope that they figure this out with the next one. Either keep him like this kind of menacing force that's like driving all the stuff that you fight, and like eventually maybe they have like they have like the MCU, right? Whatever they call their plan. I forget the word. Their phase, right?
Yeah.
They could have a master plan that's like, okay, we know we're gonna have like 3-4 expansions for Diablo 4. In the fourth one, they finally get them or whatever.
Or just you beat them back in the vanilla, and then, but you didn't finish them. Like you drove them back, right?
Sure.
And then you have expansions that come out with other bosses, and then the final one's like, all right, this is it. We're gonna end them.
Sure. Or maybe you lose. Somehow.
Yeah, that'd be a change, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Like, I like that, man.
Sure.
I was thinking, like, what movies do you remember? Any movies where the good guys lose? There's one, and I can't remember the name of it, but there's like this. Like, I'm trying to think of something. There's one where this guy is like, I think it's the devil. I'm not sure, but he like controls people's bodies, and when somebody would die, he would. Like his spirit has like so many seconds to take over somebody else's body, and the only way to beat him would be to be like the last person alive with nobody around within like a mile radius or something. And the movie starts off, and it's like, remember that I'm going to tell you about a time where I almost died, and then it goes through and plays the movie. And at the end, when it rolls credits, it's like, remember, like you think that they won, right? They killed him, and it's like, remember that time when I almost died, and it shows him like in a cat like running away or something. And I'm like, oh shit, that was one of the. I'm gonna look this up for next podcast because it was one of the coolest movies. I remember watching as a teenager. Like, oh, bad guy won.
Yeah, there's nothing like we've talked about this also before, but like there's nothing that really makes a story better than just having a really menacing and awesome like bad guy. And I don't feel like Diablo has necessarily been that. Maybe in the first one, I don't know. I can't speak to that. I know a lot of people speak to that all the time, like at least in the community and stuff like that. Like nothing can ever beat like the darkness and like the craziness of Diablo 1. But I didn't feel like that in Diablo 2, and I definitely didn't feel like that in Diablo 3.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think they always try to make the bad guy look like, oh, the good guys are never going to be able to beat him and this and that. But there's a way you can pull that off. Like Thanos in Infinity War was badass. Like you knew he was badass, and he kind of won, you know? So you need something like that to be, I don't know, that storytelling was great.
Right. You know what it made me think about too is like, so you remember, like we were at BlizzCon, and there's a Diablo Immortal art, which, you know, say what you want about Diablo Immortal. That's not what this is about. But like, you remember that big screen that was up and the Diablo was there and he's like breathing. It was like constantly going. It's like giant screen near the Diablo Immortal stage area, the demo area.
I don't.
Oh man,
I don't remember it.
It was so good. And I just like remember always looking at that and just being like, man, like that looks fucking badass. I still think Diablo Immortal, like that, just take the Diablo Immortal thing out of that corner there. But Diablo Immortal Diablo, like he fucking looks like a badass.
Yeah.
And at BlizzCon, they had this giant thing where he's like breathing, and it's like it was fucking menacing as shit. And I was like, man.
I don't think the BlizzCon poster from last year, the Diablo looked that menacing though. He looked more cartoonish to me. He looked more fake.
Yeah.
That looks way better.
Sure.
Than the poster.
Yeah.
I think that they
100%. 100%. But I just remember like being so, I would look at that and be like, wow, what could have been, you know?
Yeah. They got a lot to work with, I think, in Diablo 4. I really think letting you pick sides is like one of the biggest things that they could do that would be super badass.
But if they didn't have...
Let me play evil.
If they didn't have PvP, like what is the point of picking sides other than like you want to be evil versus a goody-goody?
Yeah, I mean, just let me be... I don't care if we don't have to pick sides. Just make us be evil then.
Yeah. But that to me, that kind of scares me because then it's like, okay, we're in the realm of like, okay, maybe you pick evil and it gives you like a different campaign to play through. But then it's like, man, that's so much wasted time. Like making like 2 different campaigns instead of just like juicy end game content. But I digress. I know people love the story and shit.
Yeah. There's got to be, I want PvP in Diablo 4. I hope
me too.
I hope that they can find a way to make it fun and good. I think PvP is a different experience every single time you play it. It's never the exact same thing. And that's what makes it so interesting. And if they get a decent PvP, it doesn't have to be stellar, just a decent PvP mode, so much replayability.
Yes. You know? And I still like, it's such a meme at this point, but I still really think of BR could, in the ARP genre, could do really. Every person I talk to that like jokes about the PoE meme that you know PoE like had on April 1st they had the battle royale, and like everyone I talked to is like it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
and that was like the closest thing we've had to an ARPG BR. So
you'd have to balance so much for
you
a
wouldn't
VR.
Really, because you could normalize like everything
Eternal
that drops
that just sits there and just
yeah.
I'm gonna tank all the damage until I win. Like I don't know. Yeah, they could pull something off maybe.
And that could be totally separate.
I'm not
like,
gonna say no
from the game, right? Like you're not gonna go into battle royale with all your gear from.
Yeah, you go in naked.
Yeah, you go in naked. So
yeah, and it can be a separate mode. They could balance skills and abilities completely independent. And I think this is one of the hangups that I have a little bit with Destiny is. They have it's PvP and PvE. They try to balance it at the same time. They refuse.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They refuse to split it, and the reasoning is that they say that they want the experience of shooting a gun, regardless of what mode you're in, to feel the same. And I get that. I'm like, okay, that's noble, it's honorable, but you can't have this god tier power from PvE and take it into PvP because they just don't mix.
No.
So. I hope if they do put a PvP mode into Diablo 4 that it's completely balanced independently.
Sure.
100%.
Right.
So.
And I don't like that about Destiny in particular, is like how you talked about how like the meta can shift because like some new gun drops in the PvE and then people take it into PvP and it's just like it's too powerful or it's too good or like that's...
Or it's the exact opposite. Yeah. Like a PvP weapon gets put in and it's super broken.
Right.
And then that shifts the PvE meta to where it's like, oh, everybody's got to have this PvP weapon. So then all the non-PvPers are like, I got to go do this thing, you know?
PvP should be competitive. It should be normalized. It should be like juicy, not this like, I don't know. Not how Destiny is.
100%. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
it's different. We're gonna get to that in a little bit.
Sure. But yeah, that's pretty much all the Diablo
news.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're kind of just sitting tight until
next bit of juice comes out. Yeah. When's the schedule gonna come out? Like, weren't we kind of at that point last year?
Before tickets finish going on sale would be fucking amazing. Like, I don't know about the rest of the world, but buying a ticket to an event that I have no idea what's going to be showcased,
hate that so
is like wow to me. You know, like you have to do it if you want to go.
Yeah,
it's like you got to get. It's like a loot box, man. Like, what am I going to get?
Imagine for me, especially like someone who's just going for Diablo, and then like say I were to go and it's not even like on like the main schedule, like it was like a couple years ago, or whatever. Oh my God. I'd be like, well, like, what do I do now?
Fuck. That's $1,500
down the drain.
I could have spent on anything.
Literally.
Yeah. Literally anything. So I think we're gonna get Diablo 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that they would invite Quinn if there was like just nothing. But honestly, like to me, it's, and this might sound crazy, especially coming from me, but like, even if we don't get new Diablo news and like now there's the full demo of Diablo Immortal, like at least I have that to do.
Well, I think Diablo Immortal is going to release at BlizzCon. I think we're going to have it.
Oh, you mean fully released?
Full games, like here you go, you can play it, you can buy it. You can
Would they want to do that though? Because then it's like, well, everyone's just going to be playing games on their phone instead of like watching all the things that they worked hard on, like the little, moments.
Okay, so maybe they release it like Sunday.
Yeah. Like after BlizzCon.
Or Monday or Tuesday or whatever, whatever their schedule is. I think it's going to drop though. I really do. The question is how they're going to announce it. And they can't announce it without Diablo 4. Like, even if it's just a D and a 4, like, they have to give us something. Like, that's why I think it's going to be announced. Diablo Immortal's finished, right? Mm-hmm. That's what all the leaks are saying. All the reports are like, it's done.
Sure.
Blizzard's sitting on it. Why are you sitting on it? Because they know, like, all right, we can't drop this.
Sure. Yeah. They couldn't do it at BlizzCon. Like, can you imagine there's some Hearthstone panel and like everyone's just like looking down at their phone. They're like, what do you think about this Hearthstone change, guys? And it's just like crickets. Everyone's just like looking down at their phone.
Well, that means the game would be fucking stellar, so they'd be happy.
Not necessarily. Right? It could be like everyone's memeing, like being like, look at this shit, like. So
I don't know.
That'd be a bad play, probably.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe at least like if they're gonna drop it, do it on the second day when attendance is down, anyways. And it's not as crazy. So
I'd just stay at the hotel room then.
Right. Yeah. Call of Duty beta this weekend. You gonna play it?
I guess. I've watched it a little bit because I hate this. Like, because the PlayStation gets it first. I don't even own one. So you can never really you just watch. I just feel bad for people that love Call of Duty and only have an Xbox or a PC. And they just have to wait, and just get on streams and watch the first weekend. But
so is it the entire weekend is only PlayStation?
No, that last weekend was PlayStation. Like they always get it a week earlier or whatever. And then this weekend they get it again, and then on top of that,
everybody
Xbox
gets it,
and PC get it.
Well, yeah. The thing is like I can't. It's so hard to play console FPS. Even if the game gets 60 frames, it's still like, man,
Sure.
It's not.
It's just like the Call of Duty in the way it is now. It actually makes me kind of sad because I felt like, when they touched Advanced Warfare, they were trying to be innovative and push the genre, the boundaries of the genre, and the fact that they didn't sell enough copies, like made them like pull back, and now it's just like we get the same game, like literally the same game, like year after year after year, and that's what this completely looks like. It's just boots on the ground.
If you showed
COD.
me this footage, I wouldn't be able to tell you this was 2019 game. Like I would be like, oh, it's one of the Call of Duties. Like I can't even distinguish between them because I don't play them.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of people will like it. You know,
Sure.
what's it going to have? A BR? Like, okay, it's got to.
It
It's going to try to take that space, right?
It's got some new multiplayer modes. As far as I can tell, like the only thing that's kind of like, whoa, this is different, is like you can run faster now, but you like at the penalty of like bringing your gun like up, so you're at like a big disadvantage. But like other than that, there's just.
I mean, they're just showing this footage of this guy camping this spot for like
sick.
2 minutes. That looks amazing.
Yeah. So,
and a bunch of noobs that apparently can't shoot him. The fuck? Like nobody's even shooting. Like that was clearly like doctored footage.
Yeah, I don't know.
It felt like staged. Like, okay, run in now, guys.
So I'm gonna try it out. I don't know how long I'll play it, but fucking hell.
I never played Black Ops 4 very much, you know, like actually at all, ever.
You know, it was fun, I think, until like Apex just completely shit all over it, right? Like, Apex just did it way, way better, and then Black Ops was like too slow to update their game.
Well, Apex had the same problems too, though, right? Didn't they fail to?
Yeah, but they're still like staying on top of the non-Fortnite BR. You know what I mean? So it's like they're still.
You haven't played FPS in a while. You mean you still got it or what?
I don't know that I ever had it for PC. Like to be honest, man. Like I was doing okay, and we would get wins every night, but fuck, man. That's the one thing I say. So like. One of the other things we're kind of jumping into is the fact that I played Borderlands, right, with Lindsay, over the weekend or whatever, and I played that with the console or the controller, and that's the first time I played with a controller, like forever. Like I can't remember the last time I played a controller, and so I don't know if a lot of my enjoyment of Borderlands came from the fact that like I was just getting nostalgia, like hits of nostalgia from playing on a controller, and just like getting
why did you choose controller?
Honestly, because I'm losing control of my left hand from too much use of a keyboard and mouse.
You're losing your control on a controller? What do you mean?
I'm losing, like I'm physically, like I start to lose feeling in my left two fingers on my left hand from, I think, overuse. And so like, I can't, like when we do these like 10-hour streams or whatever on the weekends, like at the end of it, like I'm just fucking dead in my left hand. Like, so I'm just trying something else. Basically.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah.
You're old, dude.
Yes.
You're falling apart, man. Yeah. Well, you're about to turn 40, 43 this year?
Bro. 38? Excuse you. But yeah. But that was the only reason. Plus, it's like, it's such like a, there's nothing competitive about Borderlands. Like, it's just this, like, you know, it's this casual game. And so, why would I, like, I got to play keyboard and mouse? Like, that doesn't
So, what
matter.
did you think of it then?
Okay. So, first episode.
I saw a tweet. Who did you throw that shade at?
That was IGN. IGN posted like.
Okay, yeah. IGN. I'm like, oh shit, Fluff's picking fights.
IGN posted made a post that said, what'd they say? Like, Borderlands has 40 hours of campaign. Yeah. And so I tweeted back at them like, oh, that's 35 hours of cutscenes and 5 hours of gameplay. Which is totally true. No, not IGN, but like people liked it or whatever. It's totally true. And that's like my biggest complaint. And that's like, you know, if we wanted, this could be the first episode of Fluff Hates 100%, because why? Why in the current year are you forcing players to watch cutscenes? And on top of that, what makes it 100 times worse is they're not only forcing players to watch cutscenes, you can't skip them, but the whole time there's this like people interacting with each other like on comms, right? So it's like these two people are like spitting like just really meme dialogue, and there's just no silence ever in this game. Like, all I want to hear is like, I'm shooting my gun, I'm fighting, you know, I got comms going, like I'm talking to Lindsay, like that's all I want to hear. Like that's fine, you know? Like I don't want to hear two NPCs like interacting with each other just nonstop. And they literally like scream, like maybe one of them's like dying or something. It's like, ah, and they just go on for it's so incredibly obnoxious. The
That's
gameplay,
kind of Borderlands thing.
Yeah, I get it. And we knew that this was going to happen going into it, right? Like we knew that like, people are like, oh, you're going to hate it, Fluff. And I mean, to an extent, they're right. Like I hate that kind of stuff. The gameplay isn't bad. It's a little like sometimes it's a little bullet spongy, you know, like you're not being challenged whatsoever. You're just like fighting a guy forever. But you know, it's been okay.
So how was the experience of playing with your girlfriend, who's not really a gamer?
You know, she can get pretty frustrated, obviously. So you know, it's always like a trial of patience, if you will. But it's good in the sense that like you could never, for me, I could never take Borderlands like seriously. So it's like I could never in any world get mad, you know, at someone I was playing with, like for dying.
Right.
Like it's a good game where if you had to play with someone that's not a gamer or someone that you know, it's just gonna like
they're not really holding you back, so to say.
They're not holding you back. It's like a real casual game. So like that, there's great things there for the game, but we'll see. Like I've heard that Borderlands becomes the end game is like almost copy paste Diablo. Like there's like even it's not called rifts and greater rifts and stuff like that, but it is. So I'm curious, like because there's literally reviews out there. It's like it's Diablo's end game, and I'm like, huh. Like, who better to test this than, you know, the face of Diablo?
Yeah, a lot of people refer to Diablo and have no fucking idea what they're talking about, too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't tell you, like, it's as the Diablo, you know, player, lover, fanboy, content creator, whatever, when you hear people talking about your game, you're just like, dude, you have no idea. Like, right. What do you mean? You know, you're not even referencing the right shit, you know, so... It's funny. It'd be interesting to see. Right. This is a game that I'm going to get into. I've kind of avoided watching a lot of footage of it because I'm going to play it someday. It's just, you know, right now that classic crack has me pretty strong.
Destiny's coming out with something soon, right? So
2
you wouldn't
weeks,
even
man.
like this would be like way on the back burner for you then, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason I didn't get it is because I got WoW Classic right now, and then Destiny expansion comes out in like around 2 weeks, October 1st. And I'm super excited for that. So
sure,
those two games are going to keep my schedule super swamped.
Hell yeah.
You know, and Destiny's going free to play, so it's one of those things where I think there's going to be a lot of new blood, and I hope that invigorates the franchise a little bit. I hope that it lets a lot of new people come in that are maybe hesitant for the price tag, kind of like PoE. You know, you tell people that have never played PoE, like, yo, jump in, try it out. You know, it'll be the same. So,
hell yeah,
we'll see.
But yeah. So that's like all I have to say about Borderlands. It's okay so far. I just not being able to get cutscenes. Like my community posted like a way of like there's the starter cutscene is literally 10 minutes long, and you can like disable it through like the config and stuff.
I've heard people complaining about that,
which I didn't know about.
People have lost save files apparently too. Like there's, you know, somebody I was listening to apparently lost like 8 to 10 hours of gameplay. Like their save file was just gone.
Jesus.
So I don't know if it's a cloud save issue with Epic Launcher or Borderlands issue. I don't know. So that would majorly suck though. Yeah. That would be enough to me to I would put the game down. You know, I'd be like, I just lost 8 hours of play. Fuck it.
Oh shit.
I'm done. What are you doing?
I thought I saw the fire.
Fluff just burned his house down. Live on the podcast right now. You are watching Fluff's house burn down. Oh, there's the desk is going too. I would derail, but I think I kind of want to watch this disaster play out, chat. So we'll, if you guys are listening, Fluff's streaming room is literally on fire. What the heck? All right, then. So,
what's happening?
I'm going to go, like we had on the schedule, we were going to talk about, next we were going to talk about PoE Blight and go into that, but I'll wait till Fluff maybe comes back. I don't know exactly. But I've been playing a little bit of WoW Classic, and it's been a blast, man. Last weekend we got DDoSed. So I'm sure some of you guys experienced the DDoS issues that we had. It kind of sucked, man. It makes me, it upsets me, and that some idiots out there are stupid enough to literally ruin hundreds of thousands of people's playtime and enjoyment just to DDoS a server for no reason. And you know, it's no good. Everybody's freaking out. So in all reality, I was joking. That's probably his smoke machine. Fluff likes to buy these cheap smoke machines that catch his stream room on fire. This is like the third or fourth time I think this has happened to him. So, so I don't know, man. The DDoSing in WoW Classic kind of sucks. You know, that's really the only big WoW Classic news that I had. Is still grinding to 60, still trying to do that thing. And Fluff is officially burned his room. Hey, buddy. Oh, he's back.
Hi.
How's it going, man?
Hi. Wow.
What? So you burned your room down?
I kind of almost did, yeah.
Cool.
You know,
this is like the third time your smoke machines have caught fire. You think you should buy an expensive one, maybe?
I did. So this was a really expensive one. I just burned a hole in my floor again.
Maybe you shouldn't buy those things anymore.
I think I'm done.
Think you're done?
Smoke machine.
You know what?
Out.
If we have any graphical designers out there, maybe you guys
You just refilled it.
Yeah, I just refilled it.
So maybe it's something
can
to do
produce a smoke overlay that looks like smoke. You know, you can just put it on your cam. There you go. I mean, we got some Twitter questions we can hit up as soon as you get ready. You want to talk about Blight real quick?
Sure. You know, we talked about this a little bit, like off stream, just for a second. But it seems like, I don't know, it seems like the community's pretty split on Blight. It seems like you either love it or you hate it, which I think was the case with some of the other ones like Synthesis, which I actually really liked and most people didn't. Yeah. I'm really liking Blight, but it seems like, you know, it's not as bad as Synthesis. Like, it seems like overall everyone just didn't like it, but Blight it seems like 50-50. But I don't know if it's because like some players who are expected, like maybe like PoE content creators are kind of expected to play PoE and they're like really into classic WoW or something else. And maybe
they feel obligated. This is out. Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, it's a trash mechanic. So like, I don't know if there's some of that going on, but I really like it.
I can see that.
Summoners are crazy OP. Like insanely OP, like even more than Cyclone was.
Really?
Yeah. So
like, how do summoners work exactly? There's summon, like you say summoner, is that a necro?
Yeah. So like necro in particular is kind of like really overperforming. Like you can basically make any, like there's a lot of different types of summons, but you can make like any of them work. And they're just
so you're summoning a bunch of pets, and the pets just destroy everything, and you get to chill in the middle.
Yeah,
or like
basically. There's people that are like 4K life, just like flying through T16 and killing like Uber Elder, which I know like that probably doesn't mean a lot, but like that's pretty crazy. Just because it's just you don't have to do anything. Your pets are just insanely overpowered. So yeah, but that's kind of what PoE does. Like there's always something that overperforms, and sometimes it's like insane. Sometimes it's like it's just overperforming versus everything else, like, you know, Cyclone was. And they don't really care, right? Like it's not like PoE's not really like we have to balance everything perfectly with one another, and they kind of do that over time. Like I feel like they do a good job of some of the stuff that's overtuned. They like tune it back, but then like the new stuff comes out, and like that's what everybody plays. You know, they don't like play the old stuff anymore.
That's okay for a game like PoE, I think, where there's no competitive, really, you know, aspect. There's no like leaderboard or something where it's gonna break everything.
Yeah, I mean there is, but yeah.
So,
But
let's hit up the Twitter questions, man. We'll shoot through these so you can fix the hole in your floor.
What did the DDoS for World of Warcraft impact you at all?
Yeah, so I talked about it briefly while your stuff was burning down. Yeah, it did a little bit. So I was trying to play that weekend, and they really DDoSed. What I noticed was Saturday and Sunday of last weekend, not this, or 2 weekends ago. And it got me 100%. So it forced me to quit playing Classic and log off and go get some sleep and do other things. And it affected my clan and guild, or whatever you want to call it, 100%. You know, there were people, like, for example, my brother plays Classic with me, and he specifically had, like, made arrangements to play all day Saturday with his fiance. He's like, you know, I'm going to play WoW from the time I wake up Saturday until Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. And then he couldn't play because the servers were down. So it sucked, man. It sucked. Yeah, and it's you know, is what it is.
Yeah.
So
that's funny because I heard that, like, the DDoSer was someone who was, like, just trying to piss off Asmon. Like, he openly admitted to it or something. And
yeah, I mean, there were people on, apparently, like, somebody was making claims on a Twitter account that got shut down and things like that. So sure. I don't know. It's hard to, I didn't really research too much into it. I try not to give a lot of attention to it, but as somebody that works in IT, a DDoSing attempt is like, that's got to be one of the worst things to try to stop, because
you can't.
You got
I had
millions of
we had one
traffic
at my current job, and the only thing we could do is, because most IPs were coming from China, like we literally just shut down China for hours until we figured out, like, how to better prevent this one person from DDoSing. So it sucks.
And
there's just nothing we can do.
The crazy part, if you don't really know what it is, it's like a denial of service. They've basically flood you with fake traffic to where your servers can't determine what's real traffic and what's fake traffic, because there's just so much volume. So it'd be like, picture a highway is like your normal traffic, right? And then you just put like an extra 1 million cars on the highway to, your city. and then the police had to, like, okay, we're going to only let the real local traffic through and ban all these other fake cars. Like, I don't know, you can't do it, It's legitimate. I just don't know. I don't even know how they combat it in the first place. Honestly, it's crazy. So. But yeah,
sure.
We'll jump into it. Eddie says, how often do you have to tidy up your stream rooms? How long does it take? I have a tiny desk with 2 screens and a TV above it. It takes me a good 1 to 2 hours. It's dusty in here. Well, Fluff's gonna have a lot of cleanup tonight. So
gotta maybe hire someone to replace the floor. I just so I have an area rug down, and, like, whatever happened, I'm not really sure what just happened, to be honest. I think some plastic melted inside of the fog machine and somehow burnt through the fog machine, because the fog machine's off the ground. So I mounted it to my desk, so there would never be an issue where, like, it got so hot that it burnt the ground. So it's like it kind of hovers. Like, I have metal brackets on each side, so, like, it never touches anything, right? So there's no like fire hazard like it was before. But I guess something inside of it, like, must have melted, and, like, liquid hot magma plastic, like, came through the actual fog machine.
What if your foot was down there? And, like,
I actually got it on my hand. Like, I've got a big burn on top of my hand right now.
Oh shit. Dude.
But yeah, like, so yeah, it went through the area rug, and there's now a giant hole in the area rug, and it just fucked the hardwood floor underneath. So that's not good.
Episode 69. Fluff burns his house down.
Pretty much. And it stinks. It stinks so bad in here, right?
So we'll kind of go through these questions fast so you can get to clean it.
It's fine. It's fine.
It doesn't take me. So I try to keep on top of my, like, this is like my sanctuary to me, man. My streaming office is like, first off, extremely expensive with all the equipment I have in here, but it's just like my area. Like, nobody in the house gets to come in here except me. And so I try to clean it up. I would say at least twice a week, I at least make sure there's no dishes, and I kind of like straighten things up. once every 6 months, I'll like give it a good workover, which takes me several hours. So yeah, but I try to keep it kind of clean, you know.
Yeah, I keep it pretty tidy. Truth be told, we have like someone that comes in like once every few weeks, and so she like dusts for me basically. But
yeah, I don't rarely do I dust. Honestly, that's probably like the one big downfall. But I don't have a huge dust problem in here really.
Yeah,
it's decently clean. Zombie Wolf says Odds Fluff plays Destiny on Shadowkeep launch.
Is Shadowkeep the upcoming thing?
Yeah, that's the new expansion. October 1st.
You can pick. One of the number one questions I got while I was playing Borderlands 3, I was surprised that like the population didn't totally fucking die when we played Borderlands, but like everyone was asking like if it was like Destiny, and like other than the fact that you're like shooting people, I did like in the SMGs I felt like were kind of same, but the guns in Destiny definitely feel better, like 100%.
Yeah.
They feel cleaner.
I think the guns in Destiny feel better than any shooter I've ever played.
I think that even the like accuracy, I guess, like how it feels to shoot the gun, not just in the sense that like how the gun feels, but like how the gun hits the target, like hit scan just feels cleaner, I think, in Destiny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just like what popped up time and time again in chat. It's like it's hard to compare, but.
So you're gonna try Shadowkeep?
I mean, I don't see a universe where that happens, but like I guess it depends on what's going on. Is October?
That's a yes. That's like 2 weeks from now. Yeah, October 1st.
I mean, I don't know. There's so much going on right now.
We'll
so
see.
many things.
I'm sure if I twist his arm hard enough, he'll come over to the dark side. Onion says Borderlands 3 has been getting negative reviews because the reviewers felt they have not changed anything from previous games. Question is, if the game formula works, why change it?
Yeah, look at Call of Duty, right? Like they really don't change that much, and it's probably equivalent to what Borderlands 2 changed from Borderlands 3. I don't know from personal experience. I find it crazy that I don't know, they can still just do the campaign thing, and like one of the things to do is to like replay the campaign thing.
Yeah. That was the turnoff to me in Borderlands 2, which is like,
and now they have other things I heard, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's like replay the campaign over and over and over and over like 15 times to keep leveling up. But some people love that shit. You know, that's their thing. So speed runs, I think, are a big thing in that community. At least they were. So I don't know. That's kind of a good question. If the formula works, why change it? Like, what are you expecting? You know, like when Destiny 2 dropped, people were disappointed because it was so much like Destiny 1. And I'm like, the fuck? What did you expect? Sure. They're not going to create an entirely new game. This is Destiny 2. If it's got a number behind it, it's like the first one, like the one before it. The same with like every game. Like Diablo 4, I expect will have a lot of similar aspects to Diablo 3. Maester Mages says, can you be friends with exes, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever?
Like this is okay. So
I got an answer to this, but I want to hear yours first.
I think, I mean, it's disappointing to me when exes can't stay friends, because you basically, I mean, depending on how, like, if you're like living together, like how close you are with that person, like there's relationships where like they see each other like, you know, once a week or like twice a week, and it, like they call it a relationship or whatever. But like the ones where you're like, you're really tight knit, you know, for a really long time, and then you can't, you know, stay friendly because you're like, you were best friends with this person for, you know, X amount of time. So I think it's kind of sad actually when you can't, because you've basically like, especially if it's mutual, right? Like if you've acknowledged the point where like it's just not gonna work romantically, you know, like at all, and to not be able to like kind of move past that and not even like be like, oh, let's go hang out, because like never is that gonna be, I feel like, acceptable in society. Like even if you're totally cool with the other person, like in a non-romantic way, like if there's ever another person involved, like if you ever get a new girlfriend or she ever gets a new boyfriend or whatever, like then it's gonna be a thing, right?
Right.
So it's just, it's tough, man. It's tough because there's a lot of societal pressure.
I think that you can be friendly with an ex. You can be friendly. You don't have to be rude. I mean, it depends on how it went down too, but you can be friendly with them. But no, man, like if you decided that, you know what, let's split apart, like your junction with them is done. Like you're on a new route. You don't need to call them up. You don't need to go out to lunch with them or whatever. And especially just like you said, once you get somebody else in your life, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's
100%. Yeah. Fucking unacceptable. Like if you're like, oh, you know, my girlfriend doesn't mind if we go to lunch. Fuck that. Yeah, she does. She's just being nice to you, man.
Sure.
Like it's a dick move. Like don't do it. Like I don't, you know, the only time that it's acceptable is if there are kids involved, and you know you need to 100% stay cordial and friendly for the kids. But that doesn't mean like you're you know calling each other up at night talking about how your day went. You're just right. You know, it's like
that's weird.
Business. Talk about the kids. Talk about you know shit that pertains to them, and then cool. You know. So yeah, my vote is no. Absolutely. Absolutely not. You know, I would have beef with any of my girlfriends or wives or whoever that I'm with. Like my wife now, if she was like, "Oh, I just got off the phone with my ex," I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
You know, like for what? You know.
I feel like it's possible. It's just there's so many stars that would have to align to even make it remotely possible that it just would never probably happen.
Yeah. Right. So. Big Unit 20 says there was a question a while back about how you store cups. Fluff went to say there's a right answer and that only Neanderthals store cups upright because spiders and whatever can crawl in.
Yeah, did you ever see Chernobyl?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
so that shit can kill you, bro. Obviously.
So I don't remember the thing with cups in Chernobyl.
Yeah, so you remember he like goes and he's like, he wanted a shot of vodka, and there's some shot glasses facing up, and he's like, no, I don't want those. Like, give me the ones that were facing down or whatever.
Ups and down. Yeah. Okay. Based on this logic, Fluff, I need to know, how do you store your plates and your bowls, upright or upside down?
Okay, I mean that's fair. Bowls, I guess I should be storing upside down because they can kind of handle it. But plates are engineered so that you can't put those bad boys like face down. They would just like slide off one another. Most plates.
Yeah.
So like that's an unfair assessment, you know?
I see the logic.
Yes.
That I see what you're doing here, Big Unit. I see what you're doing. I store my bowls and plates upright. I store them to where they would collect radioactive fallout, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe we just wash the plates and bowls real quick before you. But, you know, a spider is not getting trapped in a plate or a bowl, probably. You know, a cup.
Yeah, they're just walking all over and shitting, you know.
I don't know. Yeah. And let's see. The last question that we had for the night was, Hex says, with the new Joker movie coming out, who do you think was the best Joker of all time?
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty easy question. Everyone can appreciate Jack Nicholson for the time, but I feel like most people would still say Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Jared Leto did a good job in his small role in Suicide Squad, and I was kind of hoping to see that.
Yeah, I think
he got on in like another movie.
Dealt like a bum card. I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't really love the style of the Joker in like those movies.
I thought Suicide Squad was kind of cool. Like his that was a total psychotic style Joker.
Yeah,
like on a different level psychotic. Like
and they only showed like glimpses, so you couldn't really get behind like, ooh, was his performance great or not? Because you only got a taste, and it's just like, well, you're kind of overacting, but we don't really know like the full extent of like, you know, because he was all pissed.
He said that they cut
all of it, right?
Like hours of his shit out of the movie. So I don't know, man. I was really hoping to get to see more of him. So I'm kind of disappointed that he's not in it. And then with the new one with Joaquin Phoenix.
I mean, if anyone to do it, you know,
he's a great actor. He's got some badass roles, man. So I'm excited
fucking wacko. It'd be him or like Shia LaBeouf, right? Like, just kind of like the people in Hollywood Joker, that are like a little cuckoo, you know, like
a little nuts.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The trailer doesn't look super great to me though. Like I'm a huge Joker is my favorite comic book character of all of them. Like he's like, not just villain, but I mean just character in general. He is my absolute favorite. And the trailer is not like, oh shit, I can't wait. I'm like, oh man, it looks okay.
It's weird because this is like, I feel like this is one of the first like origins of a bad guy movie. Like, I'm curious like how the general population will handle it, because it's like essentially like not necessarily the hero of the movie, but like the main character is like he's a bad guy. It's like it's weird. It's a weird premise. I mean I like it. Like you remember the first X-Men, like the first reboot X-Men, where like
the first Days of Future Past or some shit. Yeah.
I think the one before that, it was just like I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
But like the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes where you're kind of getting like Magneto's backstory, like if they could have made that a movie, and I've been like, yeah, because the first 30, 45 minutes of the movie are great, and then it's just like, oh, it's a superhero movie. But
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So like the story of this Joker, and I'm just guessing, I don't really know, but it looked like this is a comic book series. There's like one comic book novel that was kind of adopted as the canon for Joker's backstory, because they've never actually really released his name or any of these things. It's like never officially 100% said. And it was called The Killing Joke, I think is what the name of that series was. And I think this movie is probably going to be based on that, because I think it had the same premise where he was like a stand-up comedian and some shit goes down with some gangsters and they hit his family, and then he goes Joker style. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they never actually released his name and stuff in that. So we'll see if this follows that story. But that book in general has been made into like cartoons and things, and it's really good. So if that's what it's based on, it's a great story. So if they do it justice, it'll be cool. But trailer didn't look super dope to me. So I'm excited to see it. I'm still going to go see it on the weekend it comes out. But the answer to the question, it's Heath Ledger, I guess, for me. Yeah. As much as I love Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it, man.
That's it. Easy.
That's it. Go put some ice on your hand and fix your floor.
Yeah, check out how bad the damage is, because it's super dark in here. But
super awesome.
I wonder if I probably get it, just that thing replaced, the board, but I don't know. I could have fucked up the baseboard too.
Just put some carpet, throw a rug over it, man. Nobody will ever know. So
yeah,
done deal. All right, guys.
Let me ask you that. Like, would that something like that, like, so you own your home, like, would something like that bother you? Like, if you knew that in your stream run you'd like burn a hole in your floor, but then you put a throw rug over it and no one would ever see it, would that bother you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little OCD like that.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's like, there's no way. I can't. No.
Yeah. I'd have to get it fixed, and then I'd have to get it fixed right, and then the people that did it would, probably not do a good job. It would be a big thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, do you have wooden floor?
It's like
Did you sand it?
Luxury vinyl tile, so it's like a little bit better for the world, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
So.
It's fake wood.
But episode 69. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Number 70. You can catch me everywhere at ThaPChild, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube.
Yeah.
All those things.
And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.